Guys, today we're going to be making white chicken korma. To do this, you're going to need a kilo of chicken pieces, preferably with bone in. And so I've got that. You're going to need half a cup of milk. I'm using full cream milk. You're going to need a teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of garlic paste, 250 grams of Greek yogurt, a teaspoon of sugar, and we're going to need 1 onion that you've pureed. And what we're going to do is add all of these ingredients to this chicken and let it marinate for about 3 to 4 hours, preferably even overnight. Let's do it. Now that we've added all the ingredients, we're going to give this a really good mix. Cover it in cling wrap and then put it in the fridge. I'm going to put it in overnight. Now that it's all mixed, I'm going to cover it in cling film. And it's going to go into the fridge overnight. See you tomorrow. Okay guys, I forgot to film the beginning, but all I did was put some butter in this pan. I would usually use ghee, but I don't have any at home, so I use ghee. And this is 2 small onions or 1 large onion, finely chopped. And just saute it until it's translucent. Do not brown it. Okay, so while that's sauteing, let me take you through what else I'm going to be adding. Keep an eye on this, we don't want it to brown, remember? So low to medium heat, and just keep an eye on it. So when this becomes translucent, what I'm going to do is add half a cup of milk, and then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of ginger paste, and half a teaspoon of garlic paste. Remember, we added these to the marinade, so don't go overboard here. I'm going to add a teaspoon of roast cumin or jeera, and a teaspoon of roast coriander, or dhania powder. And then what we're just going to do is fry off those spices. So we're just waiting on these onions. Then we're going to add the milk. I think that's pretty much done. It's starting to brown and we don't want that. So I'm going to add my milk. And that's just going to stop the browning of the onions. And now I'm going to add my other spices. Half a teaspoon of coriander, half a teaspoon of the jeera, half a teaspoon of the garlic, and half a teaspoon of the ginger. And then we're just going to fry those spices off. So what that means is we're going to mix this really well until that milk dries out, and then just keep adding more milk until all of that spice is really nicely cooked and you get the aroma from it. But nothing burns, colour doesn't change, remember this is a white korma. Okay, so you can see here that this has started to dry off and the oil's risen. And so it's time for our next step, which is to add in our salt to taste. So I'm just adding some table salt. There we go. I'm just going to let that mix for a little bit. I'm just going to let that mix for a little bit, and then we're going to add in our chicken mixture with the marinade. So now we're ready for our chicken marinade, which has been in the fridge for 12 hours. In it goes. So there's our chicken, I've added it. And now we're just going to mix that really well and cook that on a medium heat, uncovered. Don't cover it, otherwise it'll get really liquidy. You want this to be nice and sort of a thick gravy. So just let that come to the boil and then keep stirring it uncovered. Chicken, it's come to the boil. Give it a good mix. Make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom of the pan, but also don't cook it on too high a heat that it browns. Remember, we want to keep it white. This has been cooking for about 10 minutes now, and as you can see, it's still very liquidy. I've just been moving it around slightly. If it had gone dry, the liquid had dried up, what you can do at this point in time is add a bit more water, add some cream, or even add some milk, depending on how rich you want this. I'm not going to add any of that because this is the consistency that I want it at, but I am going to add a few other things. So, I'm going to add a handful of sultanas. This is completely up to you, but this is a sweet curry, so I'm going to add some sultanas. You can add as many or as little as you like. I'm going to add some lemon juice, some kaffir lime leaves, and 3 chilies. Again, this is up to you how many chilies you add, and I've just split them down the middle like that. Just split them down the middle like that so they release their flavours. So I've got 3 chilies, 1 cube of lemon juice. So I've got 3 chilies, 1 cube of lemon juice, and 2 kaffir lime leaves. To this, I'm also going to add about a teaspoon of sugar. I'm also going to add about a teaspoon of sugar. And I've got this thing here which my mum made for me, which is roast masala. It's just a combination of spices. I'm going to add a little bit of that. You can add some shan spice mix. You can add a combination of coriander or cumin. Just don't add anything red or yellow, otherwise you'll colour up your curry. And then the last thing I'm going to add to this is a teaspoon of almond meal, and this will just thicken up that sauce and give it a really nice rich nutty flavour. Just a little bit. That's done. I'm going to give this a good mix now. Again, make sure that you're not breaking up any of the chicken. Just incorporate it like that. And then let it cook until the chicken is fully cooked.